Hello, everyone. My name is Lami Islam. I'm a research assistant here at Dupubon, a digital archive that highlights the diverse experiences of the Bengali and Bangladeshi diaspora. Today, I am joined by Sajin Ahmed Kawshik, a Bangladeshi community organizer, youth advocate, and emerging political leader currently based in Lisbon, Portugal. He made history recently as the first Bangladeshi elected to the executive body of Portugal Socialist Youth, where he serves as the Secretary of Immigration. His commitment to community work began early through grassroots initiatives. He was one of the founding members of We, an education program for disenfranchised youth, and later founded Hepline Matlab during the pandemic, a volunteer-based project that provided supplies and support to up to 5,000 people. Alongside his community work, Sajin has also personally pursued photography as a means of storytelling and connection, and Sajin is now working in Portugal, where he works as an immigrant rights representative in the current political environment. To start, Sajin, could you share a bit about your journey from growing up in Bangladesh and your current role as the Immigration Secretary of Portugal's Socialist Youth?
Uh, First of all, thanks, Lami, for inviting me to this podcast. And of course, it feels amazing to share with a different generation. I would say, my experience. But for me, my journey started in Bangladesh. I for my in like when I was born, like when I grown up, I saw my father like doing things for for the society. I have gotten very inspired by him, and then I thought he also taught me like the to exist in this society we need to do things for the society. Otherwise it doesn't mean that we existed ever, if we don't do something for the society. For Bangladesh it's a different culture. I'm a born Bangladeshi who I had learned what is life, the meaning of life in Bangladesh, and in Portugal after coming as a by contribution. I would say I'm a Portuguese. So in Portugal I learned democracy. I learned modern thoughts. I have learned how to become an independent man in every aspect. So I would say that it both has different kind of experiences, but I feel great that I could connect in both of the society as a bridge, and I could make more people to be connected at the same way to the different nations.
hmm you briefly mentioned your father inspiring you to contribute back to society.
Yeah,
And as I've mentioned earlier in your introduction, that you've been involved in community work from a young age,
yeah.
including co-founding two organizations. What first inspired you to serve your community, and what does the act of collective community involvement mean to you?
For me, I'd say when I got involved with We, it was from one of my, I would say I call him brother, so like Boro Bhai we say. So his name is Asif Obi, and he really inspired me to do something for the children that not having their basic rights, not having education, not having health care, not having their proper meals a day. So he really was into it. Like he was always doing something. So he inspired. Then we sat on a meeting in a restaurant, and he said, like, let's found something, and what should we call it? We call it We because it's equal to everyone.
Mhm.
So basically, that's how I got into We, and from there, I have learned that. I felt that maybe I'm privileged because I have food, I have education, I have access to healthcare, but life is not same for everyone,
Mhm.
and it is injustice to the society. For if I, as a like, I can be a provider, or if I have the ability to do something for this society, why not? Then my father also teach me this line that if you are a person from the society, if you don't leave your mark, if you don't do something for the society, that you were here or you wasn't, it really doesn't matter, like it.
Mhm.
So that inspired me a lot, that I should be a person of the society, and I should be involving and doing things for this society so that we can have the same rights and say equal things for everyone.
Hmm. That's a very beautiful comment from your father. I'm definitely going to remember that too.
Thank
You've
you.
also mentioned earlier that your journey to Portugal from growing up in Bangladesh is almost like a bridging
Yeah.
to communities and cultures. As somebody who's both Bangladeshi and Portuguese, how do you navigate these multiple identities, and has that shaped the way you see yourself and the way you approach the communities that you work with?
For me, I think for me, I would say like it's amazing because I am having both of the experiences. For me, it's not two different things. I think it making together
Mm,
uh, one like view on mirror, like things. Like I see myself in both of the places perfectly fine because both of the places really represented different things for me. In
mm,
Bangladesh, as I told you, like I learned life when I was born. After I grown up and after coming to Portugal and being involved in this culture, Portuguese are a great nation. They have a great history, and I'd say they are the most humble kind of people I have met because they open the gate. They open the gate for all over the immigrants, and they also immigrated in many countries before, so they know the value. So they really did that so far, and of course it is difficult for immigrants and also for the institutions that are supporting immigrants, in both of the countries. And there is most importantly very much needed a bridge who can really understand both of the point of views
mm,
of the immigrants and the Portuguese culture. So Portuguese culture and Portuguese people, I'd say the humans of Portugal, the people of Portugal, the humbleness of Portuguese people inspired me to get into them and become one of them. And I was born Bangladesh and I learned from the green and red flag.
hmm. I really like how you mentioned that they both are a part of you at the same time, that it's not something that's in opposition to each other. We always hear of Bidesh, or kind of like just very separate. And for a lot of people who either immigrate later or Bengalis who are born outside of Bangladesh, it becomes a
Yeah.
bit hard. So I really like how you mentioned that it's just in you at the same time. Um, and you briefly mentioned this at the end in terms of some issues or topics that might be of relevance to immigrants in Portugal. So that now that you're active directly in Portuguese politics, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges or opportunities for immigrant communities to be represented and heard in policy?
Um, I would say that the global point of view is not just in Portugal. Lack of trust, I would say, in some points, because as I was mentioning, that it is difficult for also immigrants and for also the institutions that are really migrating or helping migrate people. Uh, Globally, immigrants has been shown as workers. Like it's a global point of view. It's not from Portugal. It's not from England. It's not from Canada. It's not from America. It's not nothing like that. It's a global point of view. But things are changing, day by day. So for me, this is the biggest challenge, that to build up the trust that actually we can really coexist in the same scenario. And you have seen, like, when immigrants are more migrated and become a part of the society becomes more democratic and more stable and more economically important to the whole world. Like I'd like to say, said, like, you saw the example in New York, like the first immigrant who became the mayor, like Zoran Mamdani, and
Mhm,
it's a great. He made the greatest presentation, I think, in American political history. He has a lot of way to go, but the presentation was huge. He
mhm,
really understood the problem of the immigrants, and he really understood the problem of the locals who are living and facing the crises or problems for because of the immigration.
mhm.
So he understood both of the problems and he tried to solve both of the problems. That's why he got the support from both of the sides.
Yeah.
So I feel like this thing is the most challenging thing, to build up the trust between two communities so that they can trust each other and grow forward.
That's a very good point that you bring up, and I hope to see a world in which that unification can come to be, and I applaud people like you who are in policy hoping to make that happen. Yeah, to end things off, what advice would you give to a young Bangladeshi anywhere in the world right now who is maybe looking at this and is feeling inspired and hoping to get involved in either politics or starting their own community organization?
I can you like just it's for the people who want to involved in the community organizations and politics
Yeah,
or
any advice you have for where to
uh,
start?
for the youth, I think like age for me, age is not just a number, it's time.
Mm,
So if you are passing, it's passing. It's going. It's not to force you. Like it's gone.
mhm,
It's not gone. It's there, but it's going.
mm,
So when we go abroad, the mostly people, the young people from Bangladesh, they want to like me. They want to go abroad and they want to grow themselves. Or youths all over the world, like youths in Bangladesh, youths in India, youths in Pakistan, youths in all over Asia, Canada, European countries, America. I would say that everyone has their different struggle.
mhm,
Everyone is facing their different point of view, but who want to really start community work or politics, I think they should really get into it because we have more people want to be doctor, we have more people want to be engineers, we
mm,
have more people want to be um, related to tech guys or something like that. But I would say like these are important,
mhm,
but it is also one of the most important element that you get involved in community and you get involved in the politics, you get involved in the policy makings. And for who are looking for becoming a politician, I think the first thing is necessary, which is like it's the most important is honesty.
mhm,
And be honest to yourself, be determined. If you want to be a community person, listen to the community, learn about community, then introduce yourself to become a community person. And to become a politician, I would say that learn from books, learn from the history, because politics is one of the most important elements for the whole world. And if you are a good leader, you can learn from good leaders from the history. So being honest, being like sacrificing my mindset, I would say like you need to silently sacrifice things that is very important for you maybe in your personal life. If you are a society person, if you want to do something for the society, you should not just live for yourself. You should forget that you're living for yourself. You should also live for the society. So that's how like honesty and be determined to your work and doing things for people from the heart
mm.
and trying to change the problems of the society by determining yourself with honesty, that would give you absolute grown up thing, like that would grow you up. So that is something I would suggest. It's a big suggestion, but yeah, like
Yeah, no, thank you so much for those words. I feel like they're definitely going to resonate with the audience that we're hoping to reach because I definitely was told to, pursue doctor, engineer, the typical career paths, but it's important to see yourself in policy because as you mentioned, we don't exist separate from society. We are society, so it makes more sense to be represented in the institutions that hope to serve us. So
yeah,
that's very beautifully said. And thank you so much for your time. And we hope that this reaches those who need it the most. Yeah,
thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me in, and I wish you all the very best for your future and also your comrades, classmates, colleagues, whoever are surrounded by you, and
Mhm.
uh, good luck to your visions also.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.